crack of the bat and the flashing of leather is music to our ears. We will clear the hurdles and bring you the throws. Spring season is here, so celebrate your Cardinals and watch them score. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. Hey, Joe, can you believe spring is actually here at least for a day?
At least for the time being.
Yes.
It has been a great start for most of the teams have been able to get out at least a little bit for practice. Certainly much more than they did last year, but another winter storm on its way this week.
That's crazy.
We'll keep our fingers crossed that it just is a near miss and we continue on as scheduled.
Let's hope so. Right now they're kind of scaling it down a little bit, but 8 inches is scaling it down, so it's a lot of snow. Hopefully it
well,
doesn't
we're going to
come.
knock on wood that it just goes right on by and we keep on. It was great to see the baseball team get the season started as scheduled, and the Cardinals certainly aren't easing into the schedule this spring. They opened up against state runner-up Minnetonka. The Skippers were 16-4-1 in the regular season last year and finished just one win away from a championship. And with the change in venue, they would be the home team, making it even more important for the Cardinals to be on their game early. Can't get a much quicker start than this. Cardinals fired up with birds on every base. Nate Breams unloads down the left field line. It's going to be over the fielder's head and into the corner. Xander Parr, Kirby Peary, and Braden Farley all score. 3 of the captains. All smiles is Breams out on second base. He went 2 for 3 with 2 doubles, a walk, and those 3 RBI. Not finished in the first, Jack Olakowski hits it through the hole on the right side of the infield. Breams will score easily, and that'll make it 4-0 Cardinals. One more for good measure. Jack Arndt slices it down the line to right. Olakowski was off on contact. He'll come around to score all the way from first. 5 spot for Coon Rapids in the first inning of the season. Cardinals push another run across in the second. Ryan Garlick at third. Kirby Peary chops to the right side. He's out, but he gets the RBI. 6-1 Coon Rapids after 2. The Skippers came back and made it interesting. Braden Farley started, got the win. Alec Lehman pitched the middle innings, and Brandon Strauss came in to shut the door. He got the save. He gave up a run, but a great diving catch by Jack Arndt to record the final out, and the Cardinals hold on for a 6-5 win. A great way to start the season.
It certainly was, and they needed those 5 runs in the first inning in order to hold on, and they got that insurance run to get the 6th and win that game. But when you come in a season where you didn't perform last year the way you wanted to, and you start the season off with a win against the team who finished second in state, you have to feel pretty good. It's a long, long season, though.
Yes, it is.
Well, getting the season started on schedule was a big enough win for the Cardinals. Getting that victory over Minnetonka was just an extra sweet bonus. The baseball team had very little time outdoors, way more than last year, but it's still been tough to dodge the weather. We caught up with them on Tuesday last week when they attempted to get some time outside. They'd barely gotten started when a sudden spurt of wind, rain, and sleet forced them to scramble, cover the mound and plate, and head back to the field house. It wasn't what they wanted, but they went right back to work, getting ready for what they're hoping is an exciting and successful season.
A lot of positivity, a lot of upbeat practices here, and we try to get outside as much as we can. Haven't been paying off too well, but I like where we're at right now.
The Cardinals are eager to show what they can do. Their schedule is packed with high-caliber ball clubs that are going to test their abilities every time they take the field.
I kind of like how it's set up. We got a lot of hard teams we're playing, of course, and I think that's the way where we can kind of build up our reputation and kind of learn from those games. So that way at the end of the season we'll be ready.
They passed the first test, beating last year's state runner-up Minnetonka in the opener. But that's just the start of the journey. If the Cardinals hope to achieve their goals this year, they'll have to improve every detail every day.
I mean, the little things right, definitely. We have to make every play. We have to run the bases hard. That's what we're going to focus on a lot this year is we're taking extra base whenever we can. Limiting mistakes is going to be huge, but just timely hitting, definitely 2-out knocks, stuff like that. I mean,
the Cardinals are fairly confident in their bats. They believe they have plenty of guys who can handle the bat and put a lot of pressure on opposing teams while on base. The big concern, early on at least, is their pitching. Coach Bright always says it starts from the mound. Well, the Cardinals lost 90% of their pitching to graduation last year. Still, the team is confident they got guys who are ready to play big roles on the hill this season.
You know, there's a lot of younger guys that have definitely stepped up and have made that are going to make an impact on this team. Because especially we've lost a lot of our seniors from last year, so they're definitely going to have to fill in, and they're going to do a good job.
Defensively, the Cardinals know they'll need to be extra sharp to help out their young staff. They feel good about the way things are starting and believe it's only going to get better moving forward.
The communication. Last year at the start of the year, we had trouble talking to each other, make sure everybody knew. So far, we've been really good at talking to each other, making sure everybody knows what's going on, especially on the field stuff, like in the infield and doing drills like as you see behind us.
The Cardinals didn't finish as well as they would have liked last season, below 500 in the middle of the conference standings. That's something they're hoping to improve upon this spring, and while they're young, they have a lot of motivation to move forward.
We're all hungry. A lot of them aren't established varsity players, and they want to make their mark. That's what we keep telling them. What are you going to do to leave your mark on this program? And we're starting to see a lot of the guys kind of take their roles here.
The team started with a win in Game 1, and they hope they can build on it from there. But most of all, they just want the weather to cooperate so they can keep the season on schedule.
I want to hit, and I want to play some ball.
Very excited to see what this team can do this season. And, again, the weather cooperating, hopefully. Home opener on Tuesday of this week against Maple Grove, another team right in the middle of the pack, Northwest Suburban last year. And then they host Spring Lake Park on Thursday.
Yeah, and we'll get an opportunity to see them, our opener, hopefully weather permitting, and it should be tomorrow at
least
home
Tuesday.
against Maple
I think
Grove.
we're relatively
Tuesday.
confident
Right.
we can get games in on Tuesday. They were supposed to open with that Minnetonka game at Winter Crest, but the field wasn't ready. Let's hope that, again, the weather passes us by and the rest of the season goes as scheduled. But good to see them get a win.
Yes.
Exciting to see what they have and what they'll be able to do.
They're going to hit the ball. They're going to play good defense. They're going to be great on the base pass. And we talked about that. One question is what their pitching staff will do. They've got some arms. It'll be interesting to see as the season unfolds.
Well, the softball team was also planning to start the season with a home game on Saturday. Unfortunately, they weren't able to move the game, and it had to be postponed. That means the Cardinals will hope to open the season on Tuesday, hosting the Maple Grove Crimson. Last year, this team destroyed the school records for power hitting, and they bring back a lot of those bats. It should be fun to see if the Cardinals can improve on their 13-6 season.
I think we're well prepared. We're ready to get after it.
The Cardinals are excited to prove there's more to this team than just power. They hit 21 home runs last season, 3 times as many as any other team in school history. And they have a lot of those top hitters coming back.
You know, the top end is really good, and we've got 13, 14 kids that are really quality ball players. We just don't know where they're going to play yet. So it's kind of like putting a puzzle together without having the picture on the box. You know, you got the pieces there, but you don't know how it's all going to come together at the end.
The Cardinals plan to continue to abuse the ball offensively, but they know that alone won't get them where they want to be. They know at the end of the season what matters most is how many W's they can get as a team.
I hope that I help lead my team with a whole bunch of wins in the pitching circle and also hitting. I don't care about hitting home runs. I just care about hitting the ball hard and getting them into play.
With more than half of last year's varsity lineup back, these Cardinals got just a taste of their potential. So they're coming into this spring on a mission to take it to the next level.
We're motivated. We want to be there. We want to win. We got some good hitters this year. You know, we got strong pitching. Everything's backed up. We have people at all positions. We have freshmen coming up. Everyone's just working hard, I think that's one of our strengths.
Dedication is the calling card of this Cardinals squad. They're committed to taking the program to the next level. They know that with every loss there is a lesson, and with every game there is a new opportunity.
Just knowing that this is a game of failure and you're going to fail way more than you succeed, and I've been there, and it's a tough road, but success is worth it.
Last year the season was delayed, and the Cardinals played their first 4 games in domes around the Twin Cities. Everyone is hoping the weather will be more cooperative this spring, so this team can get started on their quest to compete for a title.
I think we're really excited, especially with last year. We didn't get to start as fast as we wanted to. I think we're just ready to get after it and get after games and go win.
So the Cardinals, hopefully to get the chance to play some games this week. As scheduled, they have Maple Grove on Tuesday and Elk River on Thursday, both at home. keeping their fingers crossed that we can get some ball games in.
Well, they should get the Tuesday game in, and this is a team I'm excited to see as well to start this season. They had such a good year last year, and they're looking to carry that over. They brought a lot of things back. They did lose some pieces, but they brought a lot back.
Great pitchers. If you remember, they expected Sam Lom to be number one all year. She had some injury issues, and you saw Johnson and Masteler step up. They were just a freshman and a sophomore last year, so that's two juniors and a sophomore this year. That's really more than they should need. And with the power they bring back, it'd be great to see him hit the home runs. But I loved Coach Nienaber's answer when we did ask him. We didn't have it in the piece, but he says, "Yeah, I don't think we can count on those numbers year to year, but we're going to hit the ball hard. And when you hit the ball hard, good things happen." So it should be exciting to continue to watch that program. Tennis team got its season started right away. They opened at home on the Bob Pivot courts against Centennial last Thursday. They drop it in a 5-2 loss to the Cougars. The wins coming from Captain Liam Spelt at third singles, 6-4 and 7-5. And then at second doubles, Stein and Vu get the win in 3 sets. Sam Murillo lost in a tight 3-set match. I believe that was at second singles.
So it's a good
they were also going to play today. They were playing Osseo. We weren't able to get those.
Tried to get them, but unfortunately we couldn't.
Stats before we hit the air.
Well, the early spring is definitely a welcome change for the boys tennis team. Last year they had to shovel 2 feet of snow to play their first match. This is a program that was very young last season, so they return a lot more experience and a talent level that should make them competitive with most teams in the conference. It's a team that seems poised to take the next step.
Because we were young last year, really young, and we have most of our players back except one from last year, so we have a lot more experience this year.
Experience can go a long way, especially with a demanding schedule that goes incredibly fast. The Cardinals only won one of their first 9 meets last season. They were young and overwhelmed by the pace of varsity play, but that should be different this spring.
Because now we know what to expect, because we know last year we were not prepared for it at all. But now this year we know what's coming for us and we're ready to get it.
Most of the Cardinals spent a lot of time in the offseason working on their games and preparing to take the next step. Working together toward a common goal is driving this team forward.
We've been doing a lot of indoor things over the winter, and then over the summer we've just been outside hitting with each other a lot.
The Cardinals are ready to battle every time they take the court, and they'll face some of the best teams in the state along the way. They're going to play as much as they can so that they'll be ready when the matches matter most.
The philosophy we have is we want to get better as the season goes along. We added more matches this year. I think by the State High School League we're allowed 16 contact dates, 24 matches, and we're going to be at 24 matches before section play starts.
This large returning core is very confident in their ability. More importantly, they believe they're much better than they showed last season, and they're ready to prove what they can do.
We'll definitely improve a lot from our placement of last year.
So a team that's growing, getting stronger, should be exciting to see if they can take that next step this year and get themselves towards the middle and top of the conference.
Yeah, they'll look to improve from last year's finish. And it's interesting for me always because Coach Stork loves to tinker with his lineup. Usually you won't see the same lineup at the beginning of the year that you'll see at the end of the season. So those are some things that he can do to try and get this team on track.
Well, they are at Andover on Tuesday and hope the weather will cooperate so that they can go up for a tournament in Pine City on Saturday. Track and field teams will get their first chance to compete against conference rivals with a quadrangular at Centennial on Tuesday. The boys team had a less than stellar season in 2018, but they were very young and believe with a year of experience they will be coming back a lot improved. They're just excited to get outside and get moving and get this season started.
But it's so much better than running in the basement of the high school on the hard floor, so.
Being outside is almost essential for the track and field teams. Sure, they can train and exercise in the field house, but they can't really prepare until they have a little more room to spread out.
Practicing outside has been a blessing. Now that we actually have enough space to, move around and get good sprints out. So I really like it.
The Cardinals took some lumps last season, but they gained a lot of valuable experience and learned a lot of lessons. Now they hope they can take what they learned and move to the next level.
We were really young yet last year, especially in our relays, and So a lot of those kids are back, and a couple other additions from football and soccer this year.
The Cardinals know success is a process. They set a foundation last year and look to add another level this season. Every race, every meet, every week, building toward the next.
Coach always says we're encouraged but not satisfied, so it's always our goal to improve.
The Cardinals hope they can improve on last year's finishes in the big meets, but they also want to keep momentum moving forward to the end of this season and beyond.
Really just big improvements on the older side so that we can really finish out the season strong, and then us upperclassmen really carrying up the sophomores, freshmen and stuff to make sure that the years to come after this are really good.
The Cardinals will push every day to run faster, jump higher, and throw further. Each individual pushing to be their best in every event and from every discipline, all united to achieve a common goal and to do it together.
So, like we're one team pretty much all year.
So a couple of guys that they bring back that could make some noise in the conference and maybe section. It should be interesting to see what they do this year.
Yeah, I got a chance to kind of watch them. They were out the other day when we were doing the softball preview, and just, I think they're looking to see what kind of numbers that they have for this season. Well, the girls' track and field team had a little more success last season, but they were also hit harder by graduation. The Cardinals lost their state entrant and a number of other strong leaders, but they're confident they'll fill the holes they have to fill and keep moving forward.
We have a lot of girls that are very good, and it just depends on how they develop through the rest of the season as far as where we end up.
The girls program took a step forward last year, but they're nowhere near the goals they're reaching for. The Cardinals team is constantly adding new pieces and hoping we'll all come together at the end.
It's been fun. They have a good attitude for most of the practices, and I can see that they're trying really hard and they really want to get everything down.
The Cardinals are a couple of steps ahead of where they were at this time last year. One step thanks to more accommodating weather, and an even bigger step because they bring back a lot of veteran experience.
We really just picked up right where we left off from last year. I don't think there was a lot of girls that just were like, oh my gosh, I forgot how to do this. It feels like there was no off season.
The girls all have their own goals, but if they can all reach those personal goals, what the team can accomplish will be impressive.
I'm hoping to PR in my own race. I do the 800, so hoping to decrease my time. And I also want to get to know the girls better too and have better bonding.
Even with a lot of returning veterans, there are still a lot of holes to fill. With so much youth and enthusiasm, they're sure they'll get the girls they need interested in the events they need help in.
We don't have many jumpers, so just trying to get new girls to come and try out new things. Definitely encourage them to try it even if it seems uncomfortable at first, because in the end it's fun.
The Cardinals are happy with where they are today, but they're really excited to see where they could be at the end of the year. They have a lot of positives going for them, and if everything comes together at the right time, the end of the season meets should be a lot of fun.
To show that we can move up in the conference standings, have a good solid day at the conference meets, have a good solid day at the true team section, good solid day at the sections, and then hope to get people into the state meet.
So some big shoes to fill on the side of the girls track and field team. See who is able to step up and fill those roles. But all the teams just really excited to get going. Everybody a little nervous as to what the rest of this week will hold.
Yeah, just you get a couple of days outside, and then all of a sudden you're hit with snow again, and then you're pushed back indoors. It kind of breaks things up, and you can't be as consistent as you'd like to be. We'll get there eventually, maybe by June.
Well, we're talking about starting the week in almost 70-degree weather and looking at a possibility of a foot of snow at the end. Pretty crazy. We did get to visit with the lacrosse teams. We'll have their previews next week, as well as we're hoping to have previews for the golf teams. The track and field team, before we move on, I suppose they have that quadrangular. I can say it.
Very good.
Quadrangular.
Nice.
At Centennial on Tuesday, and then they're hoping a Sartell Invitational on Friday. Boys golf, biggest event of the year, and they always start it. They put it right at the beginning. The Bunker Hills invite 32 teams coming to walk the course, the gem of Coon Rapids, but it may be under a foot of snow. We don't know.
We don't know.
So
I
we're
hate to
keeping
say
our
it, but
fingers
I don't
crossed.
think it's happening.
Northwest Suburban Conference schedule for the boys does not start until Monday the 22nd when they play at Keller. Girls golf team is hoping to get their season started against Anoka, and then they have a Fox Hollow Invitational a week from today, next Monday the 15th. Boys lacrosse team will start at Elk River on Friday, weather permitting, and then will host Andover their home opener against Andover on next Monday. Girls lacrosse team will open the season hosting Elk River, and Howie,
we'll be there.
And then they will be at Andover next Monday. A very busy schedule for the CTN crew, weather permitting. Of course, we'll have the baseball home opener on Tuesday, the softball game against Elk River on Thursday, and then the girls lacrosse season opener against the Elk River Elks on Friday. A lot of that, of course, is weather permitting.
When isn't it in spring season? You just never know. Let's hope, though.
We've got more previews coming next week, and of course, as much event coverage and results as we can get you, weather permitting, as we move forward through the beginning parts of the spring season. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us, continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying goodnight.